This presentation is made for students at PVCS in English 9B. Flashbacks in Fahrenheit 451. What are flashbacks? Flashbacks are interruptions that writers do to insert past events in order to provide background or context to the current events of a narrative. By using flashbacks, writers allow their readers to gain insight into a character's motivation and provide a background to a current conflict. Dreams, sequences, and memories are methods often used to present flashbacks. The function of a flashback is to convey to the readers information regarding the character's background and give them an idea of the character's motives for doing certain things later in the story. Therefore, a flashback in the story deepens inner conflict. It provides stimulus for the conflict. It deepens the effects and allows the reader to sympathize even with the villain. So I'm going to add an example from Fahrenheit 451. Montag has his first flashback in the novel when he's speaking with Clarice for the first time. One time as a child in a power failure, his mother had found and lit the last candle, and there had been a brief hour of rediscovery, of such illumination that space lost its vast dimensions and drew comfortably around them, and they, mother and son alone, transformed, hoping that the power might not come on again too soon. Let's look at the passage a little closer. In the passage, Montag had been talking to Clarice. He noticed that he saw himself in her eyes, suspended in two shining drops of bright water. This makes him remember this moment with his mother and a candle. The candle is important because it casts a warm light of closeness that Montag hasn't felt in a long time. When we are used to having light, once it is taken from us, we are forced to see our surroundings in a different way. In this way, the candle represents change and the illumination of a new knowledge, a new way of living in his world. Since talking with Clarice inspired this flashback, there is a connection between what was felt during the blackout and what Montag is experiencing with Clarice. She is different and sees his world differently from him. He wishes he saw the world as she did, or just in a new way. Now let's look at another example from Fahrenheit 451. On page 78, Montag is in the underground tube train trying to memorize a passage from the Bible. His attempts at memorization provoke this flashback. Once as a child, he sat upon a yellow dune by the sea in the middle of a blue and hot summer day, trying to fill a sieve with sand, because a cruel cousin had said, "Fill this sieve and you'll get a dime." And the faster he poured, the faster it sifted through, with a hot whispering. His hands were tired and the sand was boiling. The sieve was empty. Seated there in the mists of July, without a sound, he felt the tears move down his cheeks. Now let's take a closer look at this passage. The title of the second part of Fahrenheit 451 is called The Sieve and the Sand, and is taken from this childhood memory of trying to fill the sieve with sand, on this hot beach to get a dime from this cousin, and crying at the futility of the task. He compares this memory to his attempt to read the whole Bible as quickly as possible on the subway, in the hope that, if he reads fast enough, some of the material will stay in his memory. Stop. Please stop the presentation and complete Task 1, and then complete Task 2. This concludes the presentation for Flashbacks in Fahrenheit 451. I hope you have enjoyed it and hope you have learned something about flashbacks in literature.